I didn't think the wind was strong enough, but it picked up. Crosswind chaos today in UAE. Pogacar attacking through an intermediate sprint. Dylan Groenewegen laughing at how tall Max Walscheid is. It was a day for the sprinters. Philipsen, Milan, Merlier. We've got them all here. Jakobsen, Groenewegen. Lennon went in the breakaway, and it looked pretty calm. Trek, Quickstep, Alpecin, they're all going to control. Make sure we had a sprint later. Arvid declines, leader man Zylaert. I think it was there joking with Philipsen. But then at the intermediate sprint, there was one bonus second still on offer. Romeo went for it because remember, the top 10 guys, they're really close on GC. Finn Fisher-Black takes it, but I want you to look at the red jersey, the second one. Pogacar's talking to Vermeersch, and this is something Pogacar's done a lot of times. I remember in the Tour de France 2022 maybe, or 22 I think, he followed Pedersen when he was jumping with Van Aert through an intermediate sprint. And he does it here with Vermeersch, but it doesn't go anywhere, 130 k's to go. But it gets the people talking, I guess, and it did certainly spice up the middle of that stage. So that was more interesting. Then you see the teams get into formation because we're heading more into the open desert areas, but not too many turns, and everyone's worried about crosswinds. In fact, they're worried, and then, they're not going to happen today. Everyone starts eating, chilling out, and then all of a sudden, they hadn't turned at all. It takes one team to try. Alpecin, De Koning launched their sprint train. Luckily, Little Trek were already at the front. Milan sprinting, but those further back are caught out. Pogacar he was fifth wheel immediately, so he was in no danger of being split, but there were splits. I think including Josh Tarling eventually. The guys that were taking bidons at that moment, like Novak, they got no chance of making the echelon when their splits do eventually form. So Trek were all represented, the sprint train at least, but for one important man, their GC leader, Giulio Ciccone, missed it. So they didn't actually want this echelon to continue. Tarling was stuck in the middle. Pogacar made it. Bilbao, he always makes it actually. Pay Bilbao great in the crosswinds. Most of the UAE team, Van Aertvelt missed it. I think Onley missed it. So a lot of the GC contenders would have been hoping that this comes back, and in fact it does. Too many teams behind were caught out, so they were rolling through. Then they also changed direction where there's not so much crosswind. And secondly, for Quickstep, all the top sprinters made the front group, so why pace to the finish? They don't care. For Bahrain, they do roll through. Poggi does roll through, but also for UAE and Poggi, he's already got a minute lead. For Trek, they actually want Ciccone to come back, so the Group 1 doesn't necessarily, there wasn't enough motivated domestics to pull. Felix Gold was in Group 3. He comes back then when they change direction here, and that's when Bardiani and Korotek begin the intermediate sprint classification competition once again, which has been one of the best parts of this week in the sprint stage, actually. And they're all attacking each other because there's some decent, prize money on offer. Peloton goes a block again. Crosswinds, is it over? No, the road's kind of narrow, and it's when they have these highway slip lanes which narrow and then come out of the roundabout. That's where splits can occur if a team tries to put it in the gutter. It's not when they're in the middle of these sections. It's when it's actually thinned out somewhat by the roundabout. Bang! UAE go with Mikel Bjerg, Novak there this time. More riders make it, and it's actually a better composition because Ciccone makes it and all of Trek, as well as still Van Aertvelt being caught behind. Romeo caught in the middle. Jayco are pulling, and I thought, crosswinds, the split happening this close to the finish, surely 4Ks to go. The lead-outs are going to start, but it actually comes back together. So I think a few GC contenders might regret letting the groups come back together after Jebel Hafid on the weekend, actually. But the lead-outs begin. All the main sprinters here except Koi. Jayco have got the big train. Jayco's kit, by the way, they stand out the most of any team in the peloton. Bora on the left-hand side, brought up with Welsford. They're using actually a smaller train than normal. They got Mullen, Van Poppel ahead of Sam Welsford. Bahrain got one man for Bauhaus. Jayco's train was the strongest, but maybe a little bit early, and Groenewegen gets washed away. He's on the barriers here on the inside of decline. Consoni does an absolutely fantastic lead out. He shoots at the back of Walscheid's wheel and goes around the outside, dropping Johnny Milan off at about 180 meters to go, but I still thought it was too early. I think it was a slight headwind sprint. He's got Philipsen right in his wheel. Merlier's also shooting from the back. Look at McLay actually surfing on De Schuytener's wheel for Visma. And I thought, Milan, when all the UAE sprints the previous years, if you launched this early into this wind, you weren't winning. Merlier was winning, not today. Johnny Milan shows why he's the best all-round sprinter in the world at the moment. Okay, it's a close run thing. Okay, you see Philipsen got boxed in. If Philipsen doesn't get boxed, does he win? Maybe. But, I mean, you don't get boxed in if you just launch it from the front like Johnny Milan and hold everybody off. So he wins again his second stage ahead of Merlier, Philipsen, and McLay, best of the rest. Gaviria, Jakobsen, Groenewegen, Bauhaus, De Schuytener, Herben, Thijssen. Here's what Milan had to say after the stage.
Tell us about this throw of the bike that has made the difference.
Yeah, I think I started a bit too early, but in the end, I think this throwing the bike here made this photo finish. It makes me win, so I'm really happy for the result. We was really looking forward. Like always, I have to thank my teammates, and super happy about it.
Very eventful stage, not just a bunch sprint. How did you feel in the echelons, and how important was it to do this before the classics?
Yeah, the echelons makes always everything a bit more interesting. I like them, and they're really important for the classics. As you said, I think you do a bit of experience how to move, how to be careful about them. So yeah, we was always inside. We was always ready for them, and I think we really moved in a perfect way today. And then when you move like this with this team. This is easy almost to bring this kind of result. So I'm really happy and proud about all my teammates.
In terms of GC, Pogacar still has an 18-second lead. For some reason, I thought the gaps were more. I don't know why. I thought he had like a minute. I'm lost. I swear he had a minute. Didn't he win the TT against the other GC guys? And also the time bonies on Jebel Jais? I guess it's correct. So actually the gaps aren't as big as I thought, but in my mind they are, and in your minds they should be, because he's going to win on a feet most likely as well. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you with the recap tomorrow. Ciao.